items like the clocks were made very simple. Again, a circle from center. To create any additional shape like large at the top or the bottom, you can always use what we've been using before, the taper. And also remember that if you want to align it perfectly to the geometry, you can use the lay on tool as well. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to actually make the actual visor. To create the visor or the screen, it's very simple to do, and it's something that you have to keep in mind from the beginning when you create or design your model, exactly where on your model you're going to actually have the actual screen. In this particular case, I chose it to be either here or here, and I'm just going to apply a level of smoothness to it for a second just so I can see. And I'm going to choose to use a selection or a curve to create the mirror. So we can select these edges here to create the visor and copy and paste, and it will give us the profile that we need. From this profile we can instantly start to extrude from it. Remember that you've got these scale handles here to shape the way you want it. Right. Connect to selection mode. Just to help me a little bit here. And we can turn on symmetry while we just shape and mold the way we want it to look. And when you apply the smoothness, you'll find that it will actually fit the contours that the actual screen is going to fit to on the bike. Last but not least, we may want to apply the thickness. The tubing was particularly easy to create because all I had to do for this is just go to the lines tool and select the polyline curve here. Then I just want to go by my drawing exactly where I want these tubes to be. I'm just going to make this one up, and we can just draw around from the side profile where we want these tubes to go around. And I'm going to create something a little bit more complex than what I even did, just to show you. And validate. And we look at this curve now. We can, from the top, smooth this curve a little bit closer to the geometry and then move some points so they align better with the actual shape of the body. I'm not going to spend too long on this because I think that you're getting the idea. So we can say we add this, take this down. If you find that you haven't got enough points, you can always go and add some additional points there. So we can insert points. We can choose where we want to insert a point. We can say here, and it's done. We can select that point to aid us into creating this shape that we're after. Finally, you may want to go to the perspective view just to see how things are looking. Work from all views, the back, the front, the side, and you can bring everything exactly in place as you want it. pull these in, push these back. Just spend as much time as you need to. When you're finally done with this curve and you're happy with the position of it, which I'm not particularly happy with the position of this, so I'm not going to go on much further, but needless to say, when you are happy with the position of everything, then you can go ahead to actually create your tubing using the thicken tool. Needless to say, the more easy and simple the tube is, or the curve, the easier it's going to be to edit it. So the thickness tool, and now we've got our tube in. To make the edges nice and smooth, all we have to do is loop select around these edges, go to the chamfer and apply a bit of smoothing to the edges. You've got to be careful not to overdo it because you'll lose some of the form and shape. But you would select all of the corners that you want to actually round off and do them all at the same time. When you have your tubing complete, like this is, you can then go ahead and make extra brackets, like I have done here with rivets. To make the brackets, I simply just copy the curve. And then from that, it's very easy to move on from there. So for the curve, as an example, I'll just apply that. Even though we've got no straight particularly curves, there was a straight curve that I used. There we go. And I kept aside for this particular function. Let's see if we can just find a curve just to demonstrate this quickly. Just loop around that. And we scale, you can see me scaling there and it just straightens it up. I copy and paste, and now we've actually got just do that one more time. We'll straighten it up. You see it flip there. Then I'm going to select half the curves that I need, or half the edges that I need, like that. And then I will copy this as a curve. Then once you've copied this as a curve, you can use this curve to extrude alongwards and make this. Very simple to do. The reason why I'm unable to do it properly at the moment is because I've actually grouped a lot of items together just to keep things in order. When you're finally done, you can just go around the model and just check for any problems that you may have and correct them if you hadn't already seen them. Add additional details using all the techniques that I've shown you in this tutorial. For example, the seat strap.